can, you look for a particular idea, information. You not rest until you get that information. Meaning all of that information is what? Extraneous. When something is extraneous, is irrelevant. Are we getting it? So because without sound knowledge of reading, you cannot comprehend what you have read. I mean, their failure stem from what? 40 reading habits. I repeat, 40 reading habits, and that's what we are trying to analyze all this before we venture to what? Comprehension. Now, having said that, let's quickly look at the 40 reading aloud because we have time constraint. Vocal aloud. There's nothing about the reading aloud, but it can only be done when you are trying to pass across message to students in the classroom. But when you're in a library, when you read aloud, you are affecting other people that are reading. And sometimes when you read aloud, you may not be able to retain everything you have read. There will be element of hindrance, impediment. And that is why it is advisable when you read, try to read your mindset and sight so that you can be able to assimilate what you have read. Another factor you want to have some form of what? 40 reading habit, subvocalization. Though you are not reading aloud, but you are reading in your mind, and it's a kind of assimilation. It slows down your rate of assimilation. It is better when you read the passage. Another thing, we call it regression. Many students are guilty of this problem with retention of what? Material read. So how can such a person improve? Constant reading. Novels, newspaper, magazine, it will surely enhance your retentive memory. But most of them, when they read, they forget to assimilate, they forget to write down some new words, phrases, and try to integrate them whenever they talk. But majority of them, they just take it as fun. So when you read a particular line, a paragraph for more than 2 or 3 times, and you have not been able to assimilate, that means there's a problem. When you read a particular line 2, 3, or 4 times, and you're unable to assimilate what you have read, there's going to be what? A problem. And that is why you have to take good observation. So how do you improve this? Constant reading. Magazine, newspaper, novel. You have to improve your vocabulary. Having said that, we also have some people that when they read, there's what we call simultaneous action. Some students, while reading, they're actually watching TV. When you are reading and instead of watching TV, there's no way you can comprehend if what they are doing is quite, how I call intriguing, or probably sport. Some of you that are lover of sport, or maybe you belong to one particular club or the other, and you are playing matches like your team, Arsenal. Definitely your mind will be divided. Whatever you are doing that time will be what? Effort and futility, a futile exercise. A futile exercise. So it is advisable that whenever you are reading, finish up your reading before you do any other thing. Or there are some other students too that whenever they are reading, they are equally listening to music. Some are lovers of music. Nobody is saying that music is bad. But you cannot be involved in two action. While you are listening to music or reading, what about if they play your best track? You lose focus on what you're doing. So it is advisable that after reading, you play that your music or your track. It will facilitate your retention of the material read. But if you are reading and I said I listen to music, you can't. But some will tell you that they are used to it. Fine, if you are used to it and it's work for you, but it's equally what? 40 reading habits. So please try to do away with it. It's not advisable. Having said that, we're going to look at how can we improve all these 40 reading habits that we have just highlighted. The first thing we need to look at is what? Your knowledge of vocabulary. we all know that students under comprehension, students are tested under what vocabulary. They may ask you to replace a particular word as it is used in the passage, or they may ask you what context clue. And for you to even for you to analyze context clue, you must be able to what? Be vast in what? Vocabulary. And the major problem we have here, most of them are very lazy when it comes to what? Vocabulary development. And like I said earlier on, the only way you can improve your vocabulary is through constant reading. Magazine, newspaper, novel. When you come across any new words, quickly write them down. That you come across the word insatiable. The part of speech is what? Adjectives. Then you look for another word that can replace the word as it is used in the passage. And that's what we call context clue. Now, sometimes the real meaning may not fit in to the word. For instance, what is called denotative and connotative meaning. Denotative meaning of a word is denotative meaning of a word simply means what? Dictionary meaning or what? Direct meaning of a word. The direct meaning of a word. Now, sometimes let us know that we use the word chicken, or let's say we use the word goat. That guy loves wearing goat. Goat is what? Domestic animal there. That word as we use denotative. But if goat is not used, we can only use that goat in a connotative manner. He's a goat. He's a goat simply means that word. He is very what? Stubborn. That word has been used what? In a connotative manner. So what we're saying that all these things, step out from what? Creativity. Now look at it very well. I said that when the word insatiable is used, insatiable, you must first of all identify the part of speech it belongs to. Is it a noun? Is it a verb? Is it an adjective? Is it pronoun? Having identified, we all know that any suffix that ends with BLE is usually what? An adjective. Then when somebody is insatiable, discontented. Hello? Discontented, right? Now, if you look at it, that's contented to end with what? ED. And they call it what? Adjective too. So you cannot use a noun to replace an adjective. There's going to be a problem. So you have to study word formation to understand how words are used or formed. Now, like I told you earlier, we have talked about denotative meaning and connotative meaning of a word. Now, all these two words play a role under what? Context clue. Now, sometimes when you come across a word in your comprehension passage, now you need to look at what? The way that word is used in the context. A word cannot be given meaning to in isolation. It has to go along with the way that word is depicted. And for you to do that, you must first of all identify the part of speech. Having identified the part, you check whether it is used in a denotative form or connotative. We also have what is called inferential. We talk about denotative, connotative, inferential. We have literal meaning. We have, that's what I said earlier on, contextual meaning, functional meaning, functional. Now, we have explained denotative. We said direct meaning of a word. At the dictionary, we use the word implied meaning of a word. Inferential, when you talk about inferential too. Now, sometimes you need to activate your prior knowledge. Simply that in a passage, you may be given the moment to infer based on what is stated in the passage. The explicit word point stated in the passage. They now want to go further. But mind you, whenever you are drawing conclusion, it has to be based on what is stated in the passage. They are not expected to use your own personal opinion or your sentiment. You should not allow your emotion to overwhelm your sense of reasoning. In a comprehension passage, when you infer, it has to be based on the fact stated there. We call it explicit fact. When something is explicit, clearly stated. When something is what? Explicit, is what? Clearly stated. Based on what is stated, that you what? Infer means to deduce. And you make an inference means what? Draw a conclusion based on the facts stated. And for you to do that, you must be vast in vocabulary. That's where the problem lies. Another one is called literal. Literal means what? Simple. Ordinary. That can easily be what? Interpreted. Literal meaning. Simple meaning. Direct meaning. Very easy. Simple or direct. Contextual has to do with what? Meaning, give it a word. In respect of what? The context where the word is used. And you can call it what? Associative meaning. Because a word cannot be given meaning to in isolation. It has to go along with the word context where that word is used. So that's why we call it associative meaning. That's why it's called known as what? Associative word, meaning of a word. Now, having said that, like I said earlier on, contextual meaning. Look at this word. Now, let us look at this one now. Tunde is quite unique in its ways. Now, unique is underlined. Now, any word that you want to use to replace this, it has to go along with the word context. And again, you must be able to identify this, the part of speech, which is what? Adjective. Now, Tunde is quite unique in its ways. If you say it is quite what? Amazing. Astonishing. Remarkable. All these words can fit it perfectly. Then, for you to do this, that means you must have been what? You must have read wide. You must have what? Avalanche of vocabulary at your disposal. This cannot be done overnight. It has to go along with the consistency, what you do every day. So we are imploring students that they should cultivate the habit of reading extensively. Comprehension is all about extraction of facts. And for you to deduce facts, you need to read wide. And that is all about this. That's about content. Then functional meaning. A word can perform dual function. What do I mean by dual? Two or more. There are some words that can act as verb, adjective, or noun. Let me give you an instance. For instance, look at the word reprimand. Reprimand. Praise. Blame. We have a surprise. Visit. Now, when you say reprimand can act as a noun and it can act as a verb. How do you arrive at such? Look at it. He received a reprimand for poor execution of the project. Execution of the project. From what you can see on the board now, you can see that reprimand here is what? Is a noun, because it is preceded by what? Article A. That is a noun there. You can use it as a verb. Look at it now. He was reprimanded for his stupidity. Remanded here is what? Is a verb. That will call functional meaning. It will act as a verb or an adjective, depending on the creator of the writer. Look at the same thing with the word surprise. Look at it. It's outstanding. Sorry. Is outstanding. Sorry. Yeah. Fame is a pleasant surprise to us. A pleasant surprise. Surprise here is what? A noun. But look at it now. We are surprised to see we are surprised to witness his resurgence. His resurgence of interest in mathematics. Now, research, look at it. We are surprised. Surprised is what? It's a verb. So what we are simply saying that is that under functional meaning, a word can perform two or more functions depending on the word, creativity of the writer. So we don't want to waste too much time there. Now, having gone through this one now, we'll surely move on. We all know when you talk about comprehension, what is comprehension? Ability what? To extract information or meaning based on what is stated in a given passage. And for you to perform exceedingly well in comprehension passage, there are some elements that you need to put into consideration. The first thing is what? Topic sentence. The second one is what? Keywords. The third one is what? Discourse marker. The fourth one is what? Developmental point. The fifth one is what? Lexical items. Now, when it's about topic sentence convey the main idea in a given passage. Topic sentence convey the central idea, the main idea in a given passage. What the passage discusses. Sometimes it's called subject matter. Why the lesson derived from a given passage is called what? The theme. Subject matter. Then the theme. We said subject matter is what the passage discusses. Maybe the passage is talking about corruption in Nigeria. Now, corruption in Nigeria, that's what the passage is talking about. That is the subject matter. So, and sometimes when you are reading a passage, check very well. You just don't have jump passage or whatever. Your topic sentence could easily be found in what? First or second paragraph. We all know that a paragraph is a unit of what? Of idea. Now, we said topic sentence can easily be located in what? First or second paragraph. And topic sentence convey the central idea. I repeat, the central idea in the given passage. And that central idea can be located in either the first or second paragraph. Now, for you to understand topic sentence, you must equally be what? Conversant with your keywords. Keywords are an important words in the passage. It could be what? Noun, verb, adjectives. What is a noun? Anything that has a name in this word. Check out your passages. There must be what? Perpetrator of an evil or proponent of what? Something that is positive. So that person is called what? Noun. Names of a person, places. It's always what? Noun. So these are what? Context clue. Because in the passage, they will ask you, what is the writer trying to pass across? What message? Who are those who involved? What are they trying to do? And that's what we call polar question. Usually you talk about what? WH. What are you doing? What is the message? Who are the characters? So once you're able to put this at the back of your mind, it will be easy for you to identify the central idea or the topic sentence in such a given text. Having said that, I told you that keywords are the what? Are the important word in a passage. And it could be what? Now, what is a noun? A noun is a naming word. Anything that has a name, and check out your passages. There must be what? Names of person, places, things, etc. So when you see them, underline them. They are a pointer to where the answers are what? Located. Now, we all know that verb. A verb is an action word that tells us what a noun or pronoun does in a sentence. And verbs are the vehicle with which our thoughts are made prominent, conspicuous to the what? Audience. Now, when you see verbs, verb will only be seen at the middle of a sentence. So when you see them, underline them with the pencil. The adjective showcase, describe what? Describe the noun in a sentence. Show the quality of a noun. So when you come out, when you put these three together, there is no how you not be able to identify or fish out the answers. But the point we're having is that once your mind is diversified, we have it when it says absent-minded. Most students, whenever they are reading, their mind is preoccupied with several thoughts. It could be physiological, it could be emotional. Someone whose girlfriend has given red card may not be able to comprehend or someone who has lost a dear one, father, mother, sister, psychologically is down. And whenever he's reading, he will not be able to assess. Another thing, and your mind is not picking the relevant idea. Stop what you're doing. Leave it. Go and relax your mind. Another thing is, when you are feeling sleepy, don't force yourself to read, because you are doing a lot of damage to your system. You can only read when your mind is alert, when you are when you are free from all this fatigue. So when you notice that you are feeling sleepy, please sleep and wake up. God will wake you up by around 4 5. By the time you are working, you have this region, but please don't say because they say I should read. Let me read. And when you know that you're feeling, some will now be drinking what? Coffee, cola. It doesn't work. Oh. It does not work for all people. And those that work for, it has repercussions. So stay away from it. So that once you're minded, meaning that your mind is distracted, a full exercise. And the mark of reading is for you to assimilate what you have read. And for you to do that, your mind must be quite receptive to new ideas. I repeat, your mind should be quite receptive to new ideas. So please, whenever you are reading and you notice that you have something, it could be as a result of noise. Some are immune to, while some are allergic to noise. Some cannot read in a noisy environment, while some can read in a noisy environment. So you need to identify your system. Which one works for me? What works for you may not work for others. So please identify your own system. And the bottom line is, whenever you are reading, please activate your prior knowledge. Jot down what you have read. Try to explain what you have read to a friend in your comprehension passage. It helps a lot. Now, we start with the topic sentence. The central idea in the given passage. We talk about keywords. Keywords are the important word. It could be a noun, it could be a verb, it could be a word, adjective, and they are the word. Pointers to where the answers are located. Now we are going to what? Discourse marker. Discourse marker, they are connected. They link variety of ideas together. I repeat. Discourse marker are what? Connected. That link variety of ideas together. Words like when you see this word like furthermore, moreover, in addition, nevertheless, however, consequently, all these are what we call them connectives. They are called transitional words. They are used to give what? Illustrate. They are illustrative words. Used to what? Expatiate or corroborate what the topic said as illustrated in the passage. They are what? Illustrative words. Used to what? Corroborate or expatiate further what the topic said as earlier stated. So when you come across any of these things, know that they are what? They are just illustrative words. They can be what? Discarded. They are what? They are dispensable. Dispensable. Please. That is, they can be what? You can do away with them. They're only trying to what? Reinforce what the topic said as earlier stated. So, meaning that they are only elaborating further and you don't need it. So when you see any words, any phrase or clause introduced by this, know that it is what? Illustrative word. Words, they can be dispensed that link variety of ideas together. Once you see any of these things, that is not where the central idea is. The central idea has already preceded this expression, these words. Please take note. Then developmental points, they are similar to discourse marker. What they do, they point out to where the discourse marker, they point out to where the answers are located. And they are similar, almost the same thing, but the parameter function. They went about lexical items. Lexical items are those difficult words that make comprehension of given passage pretty difficult. What about lexical items? We are talking about idiomatic expression, idioms. Because some students know that they don't understand, but when they come across unfamiliar words or phrases in the passage, they tend to freak out. So we have idiomatic expression 1 that make comprehension of a given passage pretty difficult. 2, we have registers. 3, we have proverbs. 4, we have figures of speech. Start, proverb, figure of speech. Then we have positional phrase or phrasal verb. Phrasal verbs. So when you come across any of these things and you're not conversant with them, there's going to be a problem. That is why a good student who aspires to excel in his comprehension passage must learn to read wide. A good student never ceases to read. Why a lazy student does what? Procrastinate. And procrastination is a theft of time. So I'm trying to encourage you to learn to read wide. No knowledge is a waste. And imagine, what about idioms? I mean, restaurant like, that boy is tired of playing second fiddle at home. Now, when you don't understand the meaning of second fiddle, how will you be able to interpret the passage? And second fiddle simply is what? Someone that acts in a subordinate role. Someone that acts in what? In a subordinate role. Someone that acts in a what? Subordinate role or inferior. It's called second fiddle. Look at it. Second fiddle. Or, look at it. When they say, please learn to paddle your canoe. We have essentially informed our government to learn to paddle their canoe, paddle your canoe. You now be wondering, that what does this one entail? What does it mean? Since your knowledge is inadequate, there's going to be a problem. Paddle your canoe means what? Mind your own business. Or, let's leave it. What about if they come across with register? Register is incorporated in our scheme in order to ensure that we read wide. Don't limit yourself to art when they are doing anything science. I'm not science student. Register what? Are technical words. Technical words. What I mean by technical words? Look at it very well now. That's what the science. You're reading medicine. There are some times that are peculiar to science students. Surgeon, gynecologist, obstetrician, what they call this, plastic surgery, what they call it, dermatologist. All these words are peculiar to what? Science. Now, don't limit yourself. I'm not a science student. No, comprehension can come out under this thing. They can bring comprehension under what? Medicine. They can bring comprehension under what? Art related. They can bring comprehension under what? Technology. And that's why they incorporate what? Register. Because mostly they are having inadequate knowledge. Their knowledge is what? Limited. They could not be able to do anything because they don't understand. And that is why it is not too late for you to go through your register. We are almost about 45 register in your past question. Go through them for JAM. You go JAM, you come across lessons and structure. You cannot do away with it. And question come out for what? Science related, sports, military, mass communication, what do you call it? Mass media. So government and politics. So you don't limit yourself. We say right now, technical words, associated with a particular field of study. Register are what? Technical words associated with a particular field of study. Just like what I told you, I mentioned the science. Look at the act now. When they are talking about, look at this word now, under law. We have what? Defense counsel, proceeding counsel, we have verdict, we have a bar home. Now look at all those words I mentioned. We are not art inclined, but it's not meant for art alone. It's meant for students who aspire to acquire knowledge. So please, question could come from any of these register. And that is why most of them are leaving, because they are not conversant with all these things. And that we call them all lexical items. Another one is proverbs, I believe, few. What are figures on? Irony, oxymoron, euphemism, etc. I think you have done this under literature as well. It's called in English. Through them, because I'm most supposing you may be given what? Descriptive comprehension, in which they will paint a vivid picture of an event person, and they are going to make use of what? Imagery. It could be what? Visual. It could be what? Auditory. It could be what? Tactile. Whatever visual, sight. Auditory means what? Sound. Olfactory means what? Taste. Sorry, olfactory means what? Smell. Gustatory means what? Taste. Tactile means what? Texture or touch. Now, under descriptive narrative comprehension passage. They will make use of those things. And what is descriptive? To describe. They will paint a vivid picture, making use of what? Imagery, figures of speech, simile. Comparison between two objects having what? Identical attribute with the use of as and like. Metaphor, implied meaning. We have personification. Transfer of attribute of quality of living, descriptive comprehension passage. Because under comprehension, we have what is called descriptive, we have narrative, we have actual. And this comprehension, it could be what? Adapted or what? You know, most of the comprehension you are seeing, it could be a true life story of a person meant to teach a moral lesson, fiction. It could be partial adaptation or complete adaptation. So you have to take notes. You must know the source of the comprehension you are dealing with, the passage. It helps a lot. And most of the passage, exactly in JAMB, you know that it is multiple choice question. And that multiple choice question is quite scary. In the sense that majority of the question is what? They will use what is called distractor. Like I told you, we said today, we introduce ourselves to reading and comprehension. Next week is the part 2, whereby we go into literal, inferential, evaluative. We talk about sources, partial adaptation, complete adaptation. We talk about types of comprehension, narrative, descriptive, factual. We have direct, authoritarian. Then we call it about question type. Comprehension question type. You have refutational, we have authoritarian, we have direct. We're going to look at them. The class is going to be ready to 3 parts. This is the first part. The second part will be quite interesting. Why the third part, we now go into past question. JAMB past question, comprehension past question. So that we know what to what, but trace what we have done. So that we're able to apply all those things. Yeah. So please, don't limit yourself to what you are taught in the class. Learn to treat past question as well. Go through all these things that I mentioned. Check them up. Check their relevance in comprehension passage. And what is comprehension? Ability, the messages, passage. It is now left for the reader to identify it. And for you to identify such, your reading faculty must be very high. You must learn to have a retentive memory. So I'm imploring you, make a why the sun shine. Strike when the eye is. So thanks for today's class. Remember, don't forget to join us for next